Hey, what's going on everyone, Zoofat back again, and today I'm bringing you all a brand new video here on the channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I am going to be talking about 10 exciting single player games that are going to be releasing in 2021. These are going to be games that I am going to be looking forward to checking out. Hopefully I'm going to be able to play a lot of them here on the channel, and hopefully they're all going to be great games. So I just wanted to sort of make a list of some games I'm looking forward to. Hear your all's thoughts in the comment section down below. Please let me know games that I may have missed. Let me know games that you are most excited for. Is there a game on this list that is your most exciting game, or is it a game that I did not mention? Because there's going to be a lot more games than I mentioned here on this list, and I want to hear your thoughts. So just a quick note, like I said, this is not a definitive list, and just because a game is not on this list does not mean that I don't think it's going to be a good game or a game that I want to play. There's going to be a lot of games that aren't on this list that I think are probably going to be awesome as well, that I also probably want to try and play, but I just might not be able to. Maybe they haven't caught my eye yet, maybe I just haven't learned about them yet, and so that's what I want you all to do in the comment section down below. Tell me any game that I may have missed or any game you're looking forward to, and we'll get this party started. So without further ado, thank you all for all the recent support on the channel. Let's get into this. Here we go. So the first game we're going to be discussing is Hitman 3. Now this is a game that I've been looking forward to for a long while now. I've been keeping up with all the updates as they've been coming out, all the trailers, all the location reveals, and this is a game that I am really excited for and I am very much looking forward to. This game has a release date of January 20th, 2021. It's going to be available on the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC, and probably some other platforms later on as well. And it looks like a fantastic game from what I've seen. So this is going to be the end of the Hitman trilogy story. So Hitman 1, 2, and 3, that is going to be the conclusion, is this third game. This game is supposed to be more dark and brooding than the previous game, so it's going to have a more serious tone, but I've also heard that they are going to, you know, bring back that humor element as well, give you some opportunities for some funny, interesting eliminations or some just funny, interesting gameplay. And we know we love that in the Hitman trilogy or in the Hitman story. You know, and it has a serious tone. You're taking out people, you're eliminating targets, but you know, we like to keep it light and fun as well. So this game is going to take you on a tour of the world with the 6 new locations that are in the game. You're going to be starting out in Dubai at the United Arab Emirates, and then you're going to be taking your talents to Dartmoor, England, where you have the potential to actually do one of the storylines and become a detective or solve your own murder mystery as Agent 47, search for clues, figure out who did the potential murder, and you know, eliminate your targets as well. Then you're going to be heading to Berlin, Germany, in an old, potentially repurposed nuclear power plant, I believe. I think I have that right. Maybe it was something different than a nuclear power plant, but something similar. And then after that, you're going to Chongqing, China, into the alleyways and the neon lights, the beauty of that city in its own unique fashion. After that, you're heading to Mendoza, Argentina, to a vineyard, to wine country, beautiful flowing fields, it looked like, really sweet looking. And then finally, you're going to be finishing up the game in the Carpathian Mountains of Romania, where 47's dramatic conclusion to the World of Assassination trilogy comes to an end. And man, looks like a lot of fun. There are also modes returning to the game, such as Sniper Assassin, I believe, elusive targets, contracts, and the like. So, you know, a lot of things to do and a lot of things to different play, mastery challenges, and, you know, just all types of stuff to do. A lot of replayability in these games, and hopefully it's going to be a fantastic one. So the next game on our list is The Medium, which is slotted for a release date of January 28th, 2021. So this is going to be a psychological horror game for the Xbox and PC as well via the Microsoft Store, I believe. This is a game where you play as the medium, Mary Ann, who is in an abandoned hotel that is actually based on a real hotel in Krakow, Poland, I believe. In this game, you're going to live in 2 realms. You're going to live in the reality and the spiritual realm, where you're going to be controlling Mary Ann in both of these worlds. About 1/3 of the game, I believe, is played in this what is called dual reality. And what dual reality is where you're actually going to be seeing 2 different realms at the same time, and you're going to be controlling Mary Ann in both. And there's going to be a little bit of crossover between the 2. So like I said, about 1/3 of the game is played in this crossover where you're going to be basically in both worlds at the same time, but you're going to be trying to do targets and objectives, typically in the spirit world, I believe, when you're in that split dual reality. But you can also separate from yourself. You can have an out-of-body experience where you can be in the spirit world completely, but you can only do it for so long because you will begin to lose yourself and you have to come back. So it's a really interesting concept. There is a fixed camera angle perspective from this game to give a cinematic experience, and also to cut down on trying to control both realms at the same time. It would just be a little bit too much. That's what the creators spoke about. There's no HUD elements for this game. It's all discovery. It's all sort of a bit more linear of an experience, I believe, but it is just to give you that real immersion into the game and really get you sucked into the game and the story. Now, this game's art and music is going to be very unique because the art is based on a Polish artist's work. I can't exactly remember the name. I'll try and find it for the video if I can. And then there's also unique sound for each realm because two different composers actually created the reality realm, like the real realm, the world that we live in, and the spirit world. So there's two different ones. They're going to have a unique sound for each, and they're going to have their own unique feel. And throughout the game, a spiritual figure called the Maw haunts Marianne, which is supposed to be a culmination of negative spirits within Marianne, something like that. It can actually pass between both worlds. And surprisingly enough, it is voiced by Troy Baker, which apparently he did an absolutely fantastic job in this game, which, you know, that is to be expected. He is a fantastic voice actor, and that just seems like it's going to be really sweet. And one final thing that they noted was that the spirit world is something like a junkyard for our own world. So we're going to get to see a lot of unique things in the spirit world, as well as like lost souls. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a really neat, kind of unique game, unique perspective, unique gameplay. Just, I don't know, it's a really cool experience, and I hope to play it here on the channel. The next game on the list is one that I am really excited for, and that is Elden Ring, with a release date of potentially March or April 2021, but that is not confirmed. Could be a little bit later, might be a lot later, but that is the potential release date, is March or April 2021 for Elden Ring. Now, this is going to be available on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and this is created by From Software, which is also the creator of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. This is going to be an action RPG with a big focus on RPG elements. There are going to be gameplay mechanics similar to Dark Souls. I don't believe it's going to be as brutal and difficult as Dark Souls, but potentially it might be if you choose to make it that way. And this is actually going to be a collaboration between Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin. Apologies for any poor pronunciation. So Martin did not actually write the story, but he helped with the world building and lore of the game. Martin's writing helped to build the overarching mythos and world for the game, as well as creating some characters for the game as well, and just, you know, helping to develop those mystical and mysterious elements. Since this is an RPG, players can design their own unique characters. The characteristics and personality are up to the player. It's said to be more of a Western fantasy compared to a Japanese fantasy, and there's actually different endings for the game depending on the interactions with NPCs. And based on how you create your character, you can actually begin in a different kingdom based on the character creation. So you may start in a different location than other players based on your character's characteristics. And we don't really know too much about this game so far, since we've only had a few teasers here and there. But based on the developer's history, I think we can expect good things from them, and I think we can trust them to do a good job. Now, the next game on my list is not necessarily a brand new one, but it is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, Mass Effect Legendary Edition is not necessarily a brand new game, but actually a remake of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. This has a release date of potentially March 2021. That is the rumors so far, the most recent ones, but others say June 2021, so we'll just have to see and find out. It's supposed to be released on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC as well. Now, what they said is that they are not necessarily rebuilding the game from the ground up, but they're enhancing the graphics and details. They basically want to modernize the experience. They want to make it new, they want to make it updated, and they want to basically bring the Mass Effect series to an audience that may have never gotten to experience it before in this next generation of consoles. And I hope to be one of those that get to play it and experience it, because I have played a little bit of Mass Effect in the past. I believe probably the first game I got to play some, but I have not played the entire trilogy. and I would love to do so. Now, I know that a lot of fans, when Mass Effect 3 came out, I believe they were disappointed with the first ending that was provided with the game, but I think after some sort of update, they actually ended up changing the ending to that game. I'm not super familiar with that story. Let me know down in the comment section below, but I assume that based on the outrage and the disappointment, I assume that the new ending will be put on this game, and hopefully it will be a better experience for those who are experiencing it for the first time. And I hope to be one of those. I hope to play it possibly here on the channel and just experience those games in their full, modernized, enhanced graphics glory. Alright everyone, and the next game is another one that I am really excited to play when it comes out, and that is Far Cry 6, with a potential release date of possibly April, possibly May of 2021. And it's going to be available likely on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC as well. And Far Cry 6 is set in the fictional Caribbean island nation of Yara, and it looks a little bit similar to Cuba in a way. I believe that the developers actually went to Cuba and spent some time in Cuba getting to know the island, meeting people, and sort of using that to influence the game's story. Now, one of the main reasons this game looks so good is the main villain in the game, and that is going to be Anton Castillo, or El Presidente, played by Giancarlo Esposito. And he is known better for his roles in Breaking Bad as Gus Fring, as well as more recently The Mandalorian playing Moff Gideon. And he is a fantastic actor, and putting him into the Far Cry world is just going to be incredible. Cannot wait to see him in that world. I hope we get to see a lot of him in that world, because if we do, it's going to make a fantastic game, that is for sure. And one of the other main characters that we see in the teaser trailers that we have seen so far is his son, Diego Castillo, his 13-year-old son. And basically we see him in the video or in the trailer doing some sort of speech to him, telling him what his role may potentially be if he is to one day become leader, how he's going to have to lead people, how is he going to have to make these decisions. And he's holding a live grenade when he's telling him this. So really intense, really wild, pretty crazy. So a little bit more on the setting and the story. I believe it's going to be a modern day setting, because in the game Diego does have a cell phone, it looks like. But like I said, it's going to be based on old Cuba, or Cuba more recently, I guess, where they have like sort of old school cars, but they have some modern infrastructure. So it's going to be a little bit of an interesting dynamic, and it should be pretty cool. Now, you will be playing as a fictional revolutionary leader named Danny Rojas, which you can be a male or female character. You have been caught up in the revolution on the island against Castillo, who has been in power for 50 years. A little bit more on Anton Castillo. Ubisoft says that he witnessed his own father being executed 50 years ago, which is part of how he rationalizes his policies, how he views things, and how he basically operates this island nation. And he hopefully, like we saw in the video, what his hope is to potentially pass on his information, pass on his legacy to his son Diego. But will Diego choose that path? I don't know. We're just going to have to see how that folds out in the story. Maybe our decisions sort of influence whether Diego is a good guy or a bad guy. That may be a little bit too much to ask for in terms of story direction. But it is something to think about. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more information about that. Or maybe they'll just leave it up until the game actually comes out. And one last fun note is that you can actually have Fangs for hire once again in this game. And you can actually have Chorizo, the wiener dog, who has his own doggy wheelchair. Super cute. Probably super vicious, awesome companion, and that is fun and exciting all to itself. So next up is going to be Resident Evil 8 Village, with a release date rumored to be around April 2021, but we'll have to see. Like I said, that's just a rumor. And this is going to be a survival horror game for the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I'm sure most of you all are familiar with the Resident Evil series, so let's figure out what this one's all about. So this game is set years after the events of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And this is not a game that I personally got to play myself, but it is one that I got to watch through. And the characters, the family, I believe they were called, were just incredibly interesting, creepy, and at times disturbing. But really, I thought made this game great was those characters and was those the family that you fought against. I love the dynamic, the backstory of them, and just figuring out more about them as the game progressed. And I don't know, I really enjoyed watching through that game. So Resident Evil 8 will feature characters Ethan Winters and Chris Redfield once again. Ethan Winters has started over with his wife Mia, finally living in peace and putting the past behind them. But of course, peace in this world doesn't last forever because Chris Redfield's going to come in, throw him back into the mix. We don't know too much about this game or what its story is going to exactly be, but I think we have gotten a good teaser. We have confirmation that this game is coming, and that is exciting. Hopefully there will be more information released here in the near future. Up next is Ghostwire Tokyo, with a release date rumored of October 2021. This is going to be a timed PS5 exclusive with potential to come to PC later on. This is described as a first-person action-adventure game brought to you from the developers who created The Evil Within 1 and 2. So just to give you a quick overview of what the game is about, they have shown us a few teasers, and from what it looks like, the world that it's setting up is going to be really interesting, really cool, something we haven't seen before. But basically, just a quick description says Tokyo is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after a majority of the city's population has vanished. So our player is going to have the ability to use psychic and paranormal activities to basically fight a paranormal threat that is behind the mass disappearance. So as these spirits or as these haunting things begin to overtake Tokyo and create this mass disappearance and start haunting Tokyo, our player's supernatural powers begin to build, and we are going to take them on head on using these different skills and tools that we unlock throughout the game. The combat has been described as karate meets magic, as you're going to use different hand movements to cast spells. When you are fighting an enemy, they are going to lose their health, their core are going to be exposed, and the player can use our takedown moves to destroy it and kill the spirit once and for all. I like the unique take of this game and the combat that it is looking to present to players. Just looking at things that are unique and that are new in gameplay, something that I'm always interested in. The story looks fantastic, the graphics look very cool from what we can see. Obviously it's not direct gameplay, but just the world and environment look like something you can really get lost in. Continuing on with our next game is Horizon Forbidden West, with a release date in 2021 that is currently unspecified. This is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn and will be available on the PS4 and the PS5. Horizon Dawn was a PlayStation exclusive and later came to PC that had great success with their story, beautiful graphics, a beautiful world, and really kickstarted this series and hopefully is going to be building an awesome franchise to come. So in this game, our main character Aloy is back and ready to take on the American West. So landmarks in the game have shown a post-apocalyptic San Francisco, showing the Golden Gate Bridge, showing the Palace of Fine Arts, and the game director has confirmed that Forbidden West will stretch from Utah to the Pacific Coast and that the map is a bit bigger than the previous one in Horizon Zero Dawn. So in this story, Aloy is going to be heading to the Forbidden West to uncover what the cause and what the reasoning is behind this crimson blight that is killing off plants, animals, tribes, and turning the weather into this chaotic, non-stop superstorm. So I mentioned tribes, you're going to be able to meet new ones, you're going to be able to meet hostile tribes that can sort of take over machines, and you're actually going to be facing a bunch of different machines in this game, potentially new ones I believe, on your way to try and solve this crimson blight, which is killing the planet, taking over everything, and I don't know, it seems really cool. So since this is a PlayStation exclusive, hopefully I will have a PS5 by then, and I will be able to play this awesome game. Up next is a game that really fits my style of game that I enjoy, and that is Dying Light 2, set for a release date in 2021 but is still unspecified and likely going to be released on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So I don't believe Dying Light 2 is a direct sequel to Dying Light 1, but it is going to build upon the world that they have built. We are not going to be in the same location, but we are going to be in something that they describe as a modern Dark Ages European city that is up to 4 times larger than the game's original map. The amount of parkour options on this larger map are now doubled, so we're going to have a lot more options for maneuvering the maps, or maneuvering the environment. It's been revealed that the main story will take around 15 to 20 hours to complete, But the entire game and all that it has could take closer to 100 hours or more, but like I said, that main story will take around 15 to 20 hours. From what I heard about this game, it has some cool features that I am really looking forward to, and that is factions and actually significant consequences for choices. So starting with the factions, there are actually 2 different factions described that you can sort of work with or interact with. So the first group is called the Peacekeepers, and they are all about law and order. They will make the land more peaceful, but they are said to rule with an iron fist, and they don't really put up with much. However, there is another group that you can interact with and you can help, and that is the Water Smugglers. But if you work with them, they turn the area ruthless. People are even charged for drinking water, but however, you kind of get a cut in on everything that they do, so you get some benefit from it. However, the land is going to be wild, it's going to be crazy, but you know what? You can make a little spare cash. And depending on which faction you choose, you will see different banners, you will see different environments and how they change depending on which people that you choose to side with. So if you're with the Peacekeepers, then potentially the region may blossom, it may look nice, or if you're with the Water Smugglers, it could look like crap. But hey, it is up to you, and that is your choice. And in this game, choices actually carry some consequences, and they said that most decisions can't be undone. However, there are some times where you may be able to go back and sort of try and make good on a decision that you regret. So while most decisions will be final, there are a couple of opportunities where you can actually go back and try and change those decisions that you made. Like I said, most decisions are going to be final, but hopefully this will give you a chance to maybe make good on a decision that you felt wasn't maybe the best decision at that time. Either way, I think the more choices, the more game affecting choices, the better. So taking a quick overview of the combat, it is going to be that first-person melee is going to be the primary way of fighting in this game. Once again, you're actually going to be able to combine weapons in this game as well. You're going to be taking certain elements here and there and combining them together to make even cooler weapons that you can use. And you're also going to be able to utilize a black market where you can sell or you can buy weapon blueprints to, you know, unlock cool, interesting new melee weapons that are going to help you along the way. So the day and night cycle from the first game is going to be returning, but it's going to change a little bit. At nighttime, you're not just really going to have random spottings of, you know, sort of more increased zombies. You're actually going to have clustered zombies in what are called dark zones, and these are infected buildings with zombies that are like shoulder to shoulder and are going to be really dangerous to contend with if you are not well prepared. This could really change how you play the game and how you approach missions if you're going to have to do something at night in one of these dark zones. The way you approach this mission may be very cautious. You may have to distract zombies if that's possible in this game. It may just open up an entirely new way to play the game during the night cycle, and it may have you just wanting to avoid that night cycle at all times. Either way, it should be a fun play, and we got to see some gameplay from it from earlier last year, I believe, around 20 minutes or so. Hopefully we will see some more information on the game soon, especially hopefully we will see that release date. And finally, everyone, this is a game that I had to add to my list, and that is God of War Ragnarok. So God of War Ragnarok is not the final and official title of the next God of War game, but it has a release date of 2021 unspecified, and it should be released on the PS4 and the PS5. Now, the God of War series is not one that I've gotten to play myself because I haven't owned a PlayStation console, but it is one that I would love to catch up on and love to replay those older games and just catch up on the series, and then when Ragnarok comes out, really dive into this game. It is said to follow the ending to the 2018 God of War games, in which the events are set off, and it follows Ragnarok, or also known as the End of Days. Now, we don't know too much about this game yet, as we have only been given a short teaser trailer. It is said that a gameplay demo is ready, but we're not exactly sure when we'll see it. Hopefully it will be soon. There is also a potential that this game could come to PC later on after a timed PlayStation console exclusivity, which would be really awesome to, you know, expand that player base, give more people an opportunity to play the game and experience God of War Ragnarok, or whatever they're going to call it. So that is my full list of games that I wanted to cover in this video. Like I said, it's not a definitive list, but it is a list of games that I am excited to play and I am excited to see in the year 2021. If there was a game on this list that you're excited for, then be sure and let me know down in the comment section down below. If there's a game that you feel like I missed or that I should check out that I haven't mentioned in this video, please also mention that down in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure and drop a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, be sure and subscribe. I appreciate all the recent support on the channel, and I hope to grow even more in 2021 and play some awesome games with you all here on the channel. So like I said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Got you thinking like that.